Hey guys, so this week I've been fighting the Lords of Hell and, right-clicking a lot of skeletons in Diablo 3. Oh my god, it's finally released! I've been waiting for so long, like everyone else. Like there are other people, I've been waiting a couple weeks. Oh, is that, I hadn't heard of that game. Oh, well, maybe I'll pick that up. Well, maybe there's people like that. Anyways, Diablo 3 is out. I've had a chance to play it, I've had a chance to beat it, done some co-op, I've done a lot of things with this game. What do I think about it? Well, here's my opinion of Diablo 3. Over the years, thanks to my crippling addiction to World of Warcraft, I've become kind of a Blizzard fanboy. I've picked up World of Warcraft, all of its expansions, and every subsequent game they've released since then. But my love for Blizzard Entertainment did not start with World of Warcraft. No! It started with Diablo. Although I didn't actually own a copy of the original Diablo, every day over the course of a summer when I was a child, I'd go over to my friend Ricky's house and play the game. Well, I'd watch him play the game because he wouldn't let me play because he's kind of an ass like that. Not too long after, Blizzard released Diablo 2, and I was all over that. I picked it up, and I played it, and me and Ricky played it online, and it was great. Had a great time with it. Fast forward quite a few years later, and Blizzard announced that they're making another Diablo, and I'm totally stoked for it. I even got a chance to play it at a couple of different BlizzCons, and was like, oh my god, why don't they release this game? And thankfully, after about 13 years of waiting, they finally released this game! For those of you not in the know, Diablo is a game where you go around fighting various monsters in a fantasy setting, crawling through dungeons until eventually you get to hell and fight the Lords of Hell themselves. The game is controlled from the top down, like you're playing with little action figures, kind of like if you ever played D&D with your little character. You run around killing all the skeletons and goatmen you can find, and they drop armor and swords, and you get better and better and more powerful, and you fight better and better and more powerful bad guys, and get better and better loot. And that's essentially the formula for the Diablo franchise. You go around, go through a dungeon, get more powerful so you can get to a different dungeon. It's a rather simple concept, but it's very addictive in practice. And Diablo 3 is no different. The game is full of all the armor and upgrades and monsters that you would expect. It plays exactly like you remember from Diablo 2. Almost. This time around, they simpled things up a little bit. You still have your two abilities that you put on your right and left mouse, so you're basically right and left clicking everything to death. On top of that, you get 3 different abilities you can choose from, plus 1 passive ability that you can use, so basically, there's only a handful of buttons that you ever actually have to press when playing. This time around, instead of the complicated skill tree where you're trying to choose which path you want and you gotta throw a bunch of points and there's no way to respec, now there's just a baseline of abilities that you unlock as you level up in the game. And instead of every time you level up trying to sort, how many points you want in strength or dexterity or vitality or any of that stuff, instead you're just choosing what combination of abilities you want to do. Like, you've got a main attack. Well, there's 4 to choose from, and there's different runes, so you can kind of go slightly different paths with that, but they're all very useful. And then you got, like, your secondary attack, which is kind of the same deal. Essentially, it gives you the ability to play your character however you want to play. If you want your barbarian to basically just handle one guy at a time and just decimate that one guy and then move from target to target, you can do that. Or if you want to do a big old group thing and be able to take on, groups of guys all at once, then you can play that way. It also gives you the ability to switch freely. So if you're going to be running through killing a bunch of skeletons, you can go with a taking on big groups guy. Or if you're going to fight the boss in a minute, you might as well switch over, and there's no penalty for doing so. In terms of the character classes, there's 5 unique ones to choose from this time around. There's the Barbarian, who you remember from Diablo 2, the Monk, who's kind of like a Paladin, but not really. Then there's the Demon Hunter, who's kind of like the crossbreed between the Amazon and the Assassin. Then you got yourself the Sorcerer, who's kind of self-explanatory, and the Witch Doctor, who's a lot like the Necromancer, but not quite. In terms of the gameplay, it's pretty standard Diablo stuff, so if you've played any of the Diablo games or any games like this, then you'll instantly know what to expect. In terms of the graphics, it's pretty good. It's not amazing, it's not going to blow you away, but the graphics are really good. It's a really unique art style, and even on its lower settings, it can still look pretty good. But my opinion seems to be the minority in that, because it seems like a lot of people are frustrated with the graphics.
Hey guys, Brony Powder 38 here. I've been playing Diablo 3, which is terrible, by the way. Arrow 32, my train. Anyways, as we all know, the Diablo 3 is crap, and it's way too cartoony and colorful, and it needs to be changed. So I took it upon myself to modify the game in order to make it more appealing to people who aren't stupid noobs, casuals. So here we go. Now, as you can see, this is a screenshot of Diablo 3 as it is right now. Terrible. Well, with a little bit of magic, See, I improved it. It's already like a lot better, and it's great if you're a casual retard. So this is how it. If some of you are like, oh, it should be like this. No, it should look like this. Now this is some proper Diablo stuff. This is, if you play, you clearly didn't play Diablo 2 if you don't know that. So next up is see, you might think, oh, that's perfect, that's what Diablo. You'd be wrong. Here is the ultimate version right now. We'll just up this a little bit, and bam, there you go, Diablo 3 as it should have been. So there you have it. Diablo 3's fixed. You're welcome, internet. I'm gonna go not talk to women some more.
The Diablo games have always been really fun to play by yourself, but also fun to play as a group. And obviously they didn't get rid of co-op in Diablo 3, so you and 3 buddies can run around killing all the skeletons you want. They've added a few minor tweaks to the co-op to make it a little nicer, like individual loot tables, so no longer you losing friends over somebody stealing all the gold when you're killing the bosses. But the core gameplay experience is pretty much the same, it's just some nice drop-in, drop-out co-op action. The game actually has a lot of nice online features with, its friend list, and, you can see your friends' achievements, and you can just quickly jump into a friend's game. It's all really nice. And of course, all of these online features are thanks to the fact that you have to have a constant internet connection in order to play Diablo 3. Even if you're playing by yourself and you don't have any friends, you still have to be online, connected to the Diablo 3 servers in order to play. If at any point you lose connection to the internet, you can no longer play Diablo 3 until your internet comes back. And also, on the flip side, if at any point the Diablo 3 servers are down, or you're just having problems connecting, or there's too many people playing Diablo 3, you can't play Diablo 3. In a perfect world, you'd probably never have to experience any problems at all or any downtime, but unfortunately, this isn't a perfect world where people want to play this game, this very popular game, and sometimes you just can't. They claim this really tight grip control is to fight piracy, which is obviously not true. It's to have control over the game, complete and total control. This way they don't have to worry about mods or hacking or people maybe exploiting the real money auction house, which is really stupid. The real money auction house is essentially, if I'm playing the game and I get a sword but I don't need this sword, I could sell it to another guy for gold. And let's say you want that sword but don't have enough gold. Well, you can give them real money so they will give you fake gold so that you can buy a digital sword from me. It would seem like an interesting idea if this were like a free-to-play game, but it's not. It's a $60 game, so it's kind of stupid. But for the most part, most people are just going to ignore it, except for the people who are going to sink way too much money into it, and those are the people that they are trying to aim this at. So despite all the internet connectivity problem and server lag and error 32, stuff, it's really fun. I had a blast playing this game. It's exactly what I expected from a Diablo game. I right-clicked some skeletons, killed them, got some loot, right-clicked some other skeletons, watched a cinematic, defeated a boss, it's that kind of stuff. It doesn't blow me out of the water, it doesn't do anything I didn't expect. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe they did that in Diablo. It's exactly what I expected from Diablo, which is not a bad thing. For $60, I enjoyed the experience, and maybe you will too. Although there are a couple of these types of games coming out. There's Torchlight 2, which is only going to be like $20 or something, and Path of Exile, which is going to be free to play. So there's a couple of different choices. So maybe this isn't for you, but I definitely would recommend you pick this up if you're a fan of Diablo.